Hello, this is D and I'm back with another video. Well, over the weekend, a rumor has been circulating that the Xbox Series X does not have the full RDNA 2 architecture. Now, this is coming from Kitty Yuko, who is a leaker that has a pretty good track record. Now, he goes on to say that the Xbox Series X front end is RDNA 1, the render backend is RDNA 2, the compute units are RDNA 1, and the ray tracing is RDNA 2. Now, to be quite honest with you guys, I didn't think I'd have to address this. I thought it was just a bunch of nonsense. Now, when I started to take a closer look where Kitty Yuko got his information from, I saw that he dug up some driver codes, and some of the drivers were saying that they were for RDNA 1. Now, first off, I think that his information is wrong. Now, I'm not saying that he's lying that he didn't get this information. I'm simply saying that it is not correct. Now, I know firsthand that the Xbox Series X is indeed using the full RDNA 2 architecture. Now, I have some information from those that are in the know, and the Xbox Series X is most definitely full RDNA 2. Now, I'm going to present the evidence as usual, and you guys can make up your mind on whether this rumor is true or not. Now, the first evidence I'm going to show you is from Hot Chips. Now, Microsoft, on their Hot Chips presentation, they went into great depths of the Xbox Series X. Now, we have a full layout of the CU structure on the Xbox Series X. We can see that it has a new geometry engine. We can see that it is capable of ray tracing. We know that the Xbox Series X has variable rate shading, it has mesh shading, it has machine learning. These are all features that were not on the first generation of RDNA. Now, Microsoft also confirmed that they get the efficiencies that RDNA 2 brings on the Xbox Series X because they are using the same architecture. Now, if that wasn't enough information for you, we also have Hardware Times doing an analysis on the Hot Chips presentation. Now, during their analysis, they were not sure on the RDNA architecture that was inside of the Series X and in fact the PlayStation 5. So they reached out to AMD and they got a direct response confirming that the Xbox Series X is using a full-fledged RDNA 2 GPU. Now, they also tried to get this information on Sony's PlayStation 5 and AMD refused to comment on the matter. Now, you guys can take that any way you'd like, but you know on the channel many times before I have discussed that the PlayStation 5 is missing some key RDNA 2 features. It's missing machine learning, variable rate shading, and mesh shaders. Now, this is not me taking a dig at the PlayStation console. I'm just simply stating the facts. Now, Sony started the engineering on the PlayStation 5 a lot earlier than Microsoft did for the Xbox Series X. Now, reports are that the PlayStation 5 was actually supposed to come out in 2019. However, they got wind of the Xbox Series X and they made some revisions to the PlayStation 5. Now, this is all pretty detailed. If you look at the GitHub leaks, you can see that Sony did make a revision to their APU for the PlayStation 5. Now, what I think happened is that they increased the speeds of the PlayStation 5. We all know that it's clocked at 2.23 gigahertz, which is extremely high for a console. Now, I think they did this in order to try to catch the GPU that was in the Xbox Series X. Now, Sony went with a narrow GPU that's fast, and Microsoft went with a wide GPU that is slower. However, Microsoft has more CUs available on its GPU, and the system overall is just more powerful. So, unfortunate for Sony, they still were not able to catch the Xbox Series X. However, they were able to get some of the features of RDNA 2, such as the ray tracing. Now, Microsoft, on the other hand, I know for a fact, waited until they could get the full feature set of RDNA 2. Now, earlier in the year, there were some reports that Microsoft dev kits were far behind. Now, this was actually the truth, as they had to wait for the full feature set of RDNA 2, and they came in really hot. Now, this is also the reason why we're not seeing ray tracing on some of the launch titles for the Xbox Series X. Unfortunately, they're going to get patched in at a later date, and this once again is because they waited for the full feature set of RDNA 2, and their tools are a little bit behind. Now, I can see the guys typing in the comment section right now, you're not a developer, you're not an engineer, you don't know what you're talking about. I actually do understand the documents, and the things that I don't understand, I have people that I can reach out to that will explain it to me so that I can get it right. But for the detractors out there, I'm going to quote a developer that was also responding from this claim from Kitty Yuko. Now, his name is Nerdtech. He is a software developer, and he goes on to say that the command processors in the Xbox Series X and Series S is not RDNA 1, with Microsoft stating it's it's able to handle more parallel ops. This leaves geometry and raster units which support mesh shaders and variable rate shading, so not exactly RDNA 1. And again, per Microsoft claims, the CUs in Series X can decode and schedule more ops. They're not RDNA 1 CUs. This means the rumor is either wrong or Microsoft lied. I will leave that for you people to decide. Now, he closes out by saying that he doesn't believe that Microsoft lied about the capabilities of their GPU, and a quick analysis will conclude that the front end, which is the command processors, the geometry engines, the rasters, and the CUs are both not RDNA 1 in the Series S and Series X. Now, if you guys are still not convinced on the evidence that I've produced so far, I'm going to present the smoking gun, and once again, this comes directly from AMD. In fact, this comes from their general manager and vice president of the AMD semi-custom business unit, Jack Hin. Now, he goes on to say in the blog post that the much anticipated Xbox Series X will be available starting the 10th of November, and pre-orders begin September 22nd. The Xbox Series X will enable 4K gaming up to 120 frames per second for a truly immersive experience powered by an 8-core, 16-thread AMD Zen 2 CPU optimized for gaming. Now, this will be coupled with a brand new RDNA 2 GPU architecture, which also powers the upcoming RDNA RX6000 series graphics card. We are providing game-changing performance behind the most powerful Xbox ever created. So once again, we have confirmation from AMD that it is the full-fledged RDNA 2 GPU that's inside the Series X, and that it's the same architecture that will power their RX6000 series, which is the big Navi line coming to PC. So pretty much this confirms that the Xbox Series X has the full RDNA 2 architecture. I don't know why some of these people don't actually do some of their fact checks, because the Hot Chips presentation, like I said earlier, does show that the Xbox Series X is indeed using RDNA 2. We have the article from Hardware Times that reached out to AMD, and once again we have an official post on AMD's blog site stating that the Xbox Series X indeed is full-fledged RDNA 2. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all of this information. I've pretty much laid out all of the evidence. In my opinion, it's pretty clear that the Xbox Series X is indeed using the full RDNA 2 architecture. Its GPU has all of the feature sets that have been confirmed by AMD up to this point for RDNA 2. So it's pretty clear to me that this console has all of these features. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.